It's happening again, and it seems to be a regular occurrence. Things are riling up, fires are heating up, and everything seems to be shaking apart at this moment in the West. Once again, Italy, a European country that has played nice in recent times and in the last 10 years, letting in millions of refugees from a particular place in the world, has been shown the flames. Just take a look at this one here. I mean, what is happening? This is Italy, a European stronghold. For what? The police are being wrecked. 100 officers have been injured during this situation. They're done. What exactly is going on here? I'm not quite sure if these protests are from. Let's take a read here. Violent clashes broke out in Italy over the weekend between leftist anarchists and police, leaving over 100 officers injured. So the lefties are at it again, just creating chaos, being violent. You know, safe protest. Protest in a safe and orderly fashion. Not quite if you're a leftist. Footage from the riots in Turin shows anarchists dressed in black confronting police with several objects being thrown at the officers. Just like plastic shield. That's not gonna stop them. I guess a bunch of tear gas or whatever they're using here, but it looks like a bit of friendly fire going on over here. I mean, that gas is literally hitting the same police that have been dispensing it. Let's take a look here. Askatasuna vuol libertà. It looks a little bit like a communist flag. I could be wrong. According to Fox News, the protests are linked to a march in support of the Askatasuna Social Center. Askatasuna. Okay, it's a social center. Let's take a look what it represents. The social center was recently evicted and, according to experts, was occupied by far-left activists for decades. Okay, decades. So for tens of years, there have been leftist activists just occupying the space, and recently they evicted them. According to the Italian authorities, 108 officers were injured, with protesters hurling bottles, stones, smoke bombs, and other devices. So the smoke bombs we saw earlier was not friendly fire. I wouldn't put it past the police in Europe. I don't know what their training is about nowadays, but in that case, it wasn't friendly fire that came from the opposition. According to the Italian authorities, okay, so they're just burning down the police vehicles. That's normal. It seems like a raging fire. Polizia. I mean, what on earth is going on in Europe, in Italy? Things are absolutely wild. This brings me back to my point. On the left, they always preach, let's be more tolerant, let's be more open and kind, caring toward people. Until the people have an opposing view from you, then you're allowed to be violent as much as you want. So the cause allows you to be violent. But it's in direct opposition of the message that you that you're portraying. You say patience, tolerance, kindness, but it doesn't mean anything. You're just saying it to look good, but you're not actually participating in that same message. Because when somebody disagrees, when there's a cause against what you think to be right, you act violently, as we can see here. They're pushing back. Those are just like fireworks, I guess, you can buy from any store. That's what the leftists are using as ammunition. Burning. Some burning always seems to happen. The Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni posted a video to X showing a large group of protesters shockingly assaulting an officer. Let's see, Mrs. Meloni. Meloni attached a message to the video with the Prime Minister asserting the demonstrations in Turin were serious and unacceptable. I mean, the amount of arson and things that they're just burning buildings, they're being absolutely outrageous, destroying shops, and those shop owners might even be on their own side, on the same side as the people that are protesting. But the fact that you're destroying another man's life, another person's livelihood and ability to bring an income just in show of protest is I think it's a telling tale of where you actually stand and who you actually are. Let's continue here. They're booting the guy in the face. Holy smokes. Is that a hammer? Damn. I mean, I understand that he might have been bewildered, but in self-defense, I guess looking away from people and like going on your knees wasn't the best option there. He could have done a little bit of a better job protecting himself. I mean, he almost got thumped in the back of the head with a hammer. As a trained police officer, I expect better. But of course, he was dazed and dazed, so difficult situation. Let's read this post from Meloni. What happened today in Turin during the demonstration by the antagonists against the eviction of the Askatasuna building is serious and unacceptable. A legitimate eviction of an illegally occupied property was used as pretext to unleash violence, arson, the throwing of firecrackers, and organized assaults, up to the point of striking a police armored vehicle. The image of the assaulted officers speak for themselves. We are not dealing with protesters, but with individuals acting as enemies of the state. I think her commentary is apt and correct. These people are not participating in society as good Samaritans, as people that want the best outcome for their society and for Italy. These are just anarchists, terrorists that when a circumstance arises, they're kind of hungry for war, hungry for battle. It seems like they're more than ready to act violently at any given moment, and they have this kind of fever within that contingent. All of this happening on the left, by the way. The left being unable to hold its hands back, always acting violent in recent times. And it's okay. The media usually turns a blind eye on the left doing anything, but on the right-hand side, contrary, you just step out of line a wee bit, and of course, fascists, the crazy far-right ideas. It's just there is a huge imbalance, but I do think the world is starting to see that the left is probably the place that has the most violent action and the most outrageous behavior. Let's continue to see if there's more chaos. Ooh, she's posting more stuff. It's a lot to read here. This saint. Director of Program on Extremism at George Washington University, Dr. Lorenzo Vedino spoke about the protest to Fox News Digital. I wonder what he said. Maybe I'll give it a look. Vedino claimed the violent scene in Turin was not unprecedented, as the city is a hotbed of anarchist and hardcore communist groups. The doctor added that the liberation of Askatasuna was the catalyst of the huge demonstration scene in Turin. These communists, man, they want your country. They want everything from you, and they give nothing in return. They want everything from you. They want it on their terms. They don't want to work for it. They want it spread to everyone on their side, but they offer nothing in return. You can't deal with communists. Okay, what you have here is a network of not just Italian but European anarchists and communists with some pro-Palestinian groups. The Islamists, the Palestinians, of course. A bunch of young war military-aged men from a different culture, uneducated mostly, and also alienated from the society because they're not able to integrate because of the outrageous number of people that were taken all at once. So they're separated from the society where they're at. They're easy to create extremists from, to radicalize in that case because of the separatism that they have, and also the ideology and all the culture, the faith that they follow naturally creates this hotbed of violence and action that they want to take against the country that's actually given them a lease on life. They have this opportunity from the country that's really giving them a lot, and they're just showing complete dissatisfaction and the opposite of gratefulness, like basically biting the hand that feeds them. Crazy behavior. It's a fairly well-established coalition of groups, and they routinely engage in this sort of violence. Antifa is also part of this coalition. It's one of the umbrella movements in what happened in Torino. For me, the astonishing thing is, this is a well-documented thing that happens on regular occasions. Wherever do you see the mainstream media harping on or speaking about these leftist groups, these communist groups, these Antifa kinds of groups that are obviously creating the most violent demonstrations, the most outrageous demonstrations that are damaging not only to people but the communities, facilities? I think the moderate left needs to separate itself and also needs to criticize these kind of things and say, okay, not that. That we cannot see. But there is none of this happening in mainstream media sources in Europe or in the United States. If it's CNN, NBC, if it's BBC, CNN, all those ones, complete and utter radio silence on these kind of behaviors. Yet, anytime there's something that happens, a small demonstration on the right, and there's like a tiny scuffle, oh my goodness, let's blow it completely out of proportion. Not that there doesn't happen, not that the right-wing demonstrations don't occasionally have some things that happen that are out of bounds. But I do see that the moderate right separates itself, says, okay, we can't have that kind of behavior, and we don't stand for that kind of behavior. You don't see that on the left, and I wish that it happened. And I think it's quite clear and telling to see that that is in fact what is happening. But people are starting to see through this. Let's keep going here. I mean, this is utter chaos. These people should all be shipped up. They should be corralled and shipped back to wherever they came from. Not in my country, not in any country. These people are clearly not grateful for the helping hand that they've been given. Destroying public property, being violent against the police force, which is an absolute no-no. Take them in, deport them. They're looking for violence. This is essentially a sport to them at this moment. It's absolutely wild. It's unsustainable. It will reach a boiling point, and there will be a serious retaliation at some point. Alright, chaos in Europe. Nothing out of the ordinary.